Hey good looking, welcome back to the 25 days of Christmas. I hope you're enjoying these episodes so far. Today I'm going to go through all of the palettes that I own and purchased in 2021. So as a single eyeshadow lover, I thought you might like to know what palettes caught my attention and were worthy of my purchase. So stay tuned if you want to find out. Hi, I'm Kendra Morgan Official, and I put out content weekly centered around single eyeshadows, makeup brushes that aren't Morphe, and sunscreen. So if you like that kind of content, make sure you subscribe to my channel down below, and let's get started. Today we're going to be on a tangential video. I'm going to be showing you guys the eyeshadow palettes that caught my eye for 2021 and the ones that I ended up purchasing. Some of these I duped and some of them I didn't, and if I duped them, I'm going to show you which ones I did. So the first palette that I didn't actually purchase this, as it was a late birthday gift, and it is the Too Faced Forbidden Fruit palette. It was gifted to me by my good friend here on YouTube, Kendi Beauty, and I love this palette. It reminds me of the Manny MUA palette, although she did side-by-side swatches just for me because she actually owns that palette, and she said it didn't really look very close. She thought that the pink shimmer was pretty close, and that this shade and maybe the brown shade, but I thought since this shadow right here that it might be close, and then maybe this red shade right here, but it doesn't look like it. Ooh, look at that Christmas cheer, Christmas cheer. So anyways, there you go. That is a palette that I kind of sort of wanted to purchase in 2021, and my friend gifted me it, so that's on the top of my list. Okay, next is an eyeshadow palette that I went ahead and duped, and then I purchased it because I thought it was such a great deal. It was actually in September's BoxyCharm pop-up sale, and that is the Natasha, hey Tosh, how you doing? Hopefully she never sees this. Natasha Denona Jubilee palette and the Iona palette. These two palettes have been staples in my collection. I've been rotating through them and making my own 5 pans using my Safari palette and also my gold palette, which is also a palette that I purchased in 2021, spoiler alert. But yeah, this is a really good 5 pan. It reminds me of ice cream, I don't know, Jubilee, is that an ice cream flavor or something like that? At any rate, these are really gorgeous, and they do give you a nice feel for Natasha Denona's formula, as well as just like all the colors that she is capable of putting out. There you go. I don't know, I think this screamed like end of summer, last time you have an ice cream cone type of shadows. I just love it. It is so gorgeous. Yes. So, and then also this is some nice browns and nudes, and they were compilations of previous palettes that she'd already put out, so I kind of thought it was worth, you know, grabbing just for that reason. Alright, rolling backwards, I think this was summer of 2021 I picked this up. I'm not 100% sure now that I think about it. May have been last year, but we'll just go ahead and put it in this pile anyways. And that is the Give Me Glow Summer Vibes palette. When it came back in stock like the second or third time, I went ahead and picked this puppy up just because, if you don't know, these shadows are also available as singles. So I find that really appealing to somebody like me who likes her single eyeshadow collection. You can take the pans out and use them as you wish, so that's always nice. But I can also put this in here and keep it as a palette as well. So, you know, this is just some really nice textured shadows. Ooh, we gotta do, which one should I do? Matter, shimmer, matter, shimmer. Let's go with shimmer. When in doubt, go with shimmer. Right? Okay, so we've got some like shadows already on there, but you get the point. This is probably one of my least used but most favorite formulas, and they're so punchy. The pigmentation is wonderful and great. I have only used a few of the mattes, but I've used several of the shimmers, and I cannot complain. It's a great formula. I love this palette. So moving on, you guys know how much I love Sydney Grace and her eyeshadows that she has, so it's probably no surprise to you on this next palette purchase that I made, and that was the Temptalia x Sydney Grace collaboration. As soon as I received confirmation that these are in fact 26mm pans and they come out of the palette, sold, done deal. So I can use these as singles, and you guys have seen, you know, several of these, you know, come up. So this is the Quintessence, Quintessence palette, but you've seen several of these show up in palette dupes. A lot of times I do try and make sure that I link Temptalia's blog, because she gives you comp shades that are available only in singles, and so I feel comfortable enough using these like singles, because there are some comp shades that you can get a hold of if you need to. But yeah, really, really great, outstanding formula. In fact, it's even a bit more punchier than the Sydney Grace formula that I've come to know and love even. Okay, this next palette. It was really, I have to say, a different purchase for me, because I generally don't go with mainstream. I generally stick to indie. I think all of these except for Too Faced have been indie so far, but I purchased the MAC Tempting Fate, Tempting Fate Feast Your Eyes palette. So this one right here has just been a lovely little gem in my collection. I really feel like I can get down with these. I think they are called sparklers. Yeah, they're sparklers. I have really, really just enjoyed those, you know, topper shadows and putting them over the lid. The leather, what is it, matte leather? Yeah, the leather lusters, not so much, but these right here, perfect. The only thing that would have made this a little bit better is make these pans removable. That's my only qualm with this, is I wish that this would have been removable pans. So unfortunately, I can't just take these out and use the sparkler shades, but they are so beautiful nonetheless. And they're going to be really difficult to see, but let me hold them up for you. There you go. So MAC's Tempting Fate collection, and it is the Feast Your Eyes palette. So really enjoy that one. Okay, next couple of palettes, you've seen it featured several times on my channel. I've done several videos over them, and I even received a broken palette that I filmed with, and that is, I'm gonna push them together just like I did my Natasha Denona's. That is the Jungle Lights and the Desert Lights palette. I think you guys know by now, these are some of my favorite types of shadows. They're very creamy, very dreamy, very buttery like, and I just absolutely love the color story. I treat these as standalone shadows. I don't really like to mix them too much. I guess you probably could mix this with, you know, the purple. This is probably the most neutral, and then you could probably mix it with any of these other ones, but you know, I don't. Oh yeah, let me do this lilac shade. It is gorgeous. You guys already know how gorgeous these are. Look at that swatch. Beautiful. Let's hit it up with some Desert Lights now as well. So, you know, just gorgeous. And then probably my favorite shade to use right now, and always has been in this palette, is the Horizon shade right up here. So let me give you guys a swatch. Ooh. Yes, don't mind my crusty nails. Ooh, yes. I mean, just wonderful pigmentation, very gorgeous. High shine, high luster, high pigmentation. These are definitely not sparkler shadows. They are definitely, you know, they come to the party and they are there. When they walk in the door, you know, then you walk in the door, that kind of stuff. So, oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to get another wipe. So let's keep moving on. This is another group of shadows. shadows. Another group of palettes that I have in my collection that I want to share with you guys, and that is on one of my little ColourPop binges that I took at Ulta, and that was these ColourPop palettes here. The High Tide palette. I purchased it. I guess let me go ahead and show and tell them all just a little bit. Hopefully I can find some of the footage where I'm actually, you know, showing you guys these palettes and giving you guys a couple swatches of them so you can see how they swatch and how they look. I also picked up That's Taupe. I really wanted to see how Slated, Snake Eyes, and Cold Blood performed, and I was not disappointed. These I never really knew what the fuss was about with ColourPop, but I see that it's definitely because they are super good quality shadows at a very affordable price. So I see what all the fuss is about. Is this Slated shade a topper? Kind of looks like it. Oh, you could kind of use it like a topper. Yes. Honey. And then off Melrose, I'm not 100% like in love with the idea that there is a glitter here, but you know what? Sometimes you just gotta have them. I don't know. I think I used it once or twice, but this right here, I don't know if you guys are familiar with, but Fairfax is in fact a dupe for the shade Glass Bull, which is perma out of stock for ColourPop's single eyeshadow. So I always tell everybody, if you like off Melrose, then you might consider picking it up just to get yourself your fix for Glass Bowl. Lust for Dusk, here you can see it's just a really nice 16 pan palette. Really good for taking on trips with you. Not that I've taken any this year, but if I did, this is probably what I would take. Couple different 3 or 4 formulas, several different neutral mattes, just really creates some beautiful and wonderful looks. Okay, the next palette, Indie also, and it is what I have on my eyelids today for you. Oopsie. And that is the Northern Lights palette. It is by Simply Posh. Just 12 pans of creamy, dreamy, goopy, droopy, doopy duochromes. Love them. There's just really nothing much to say to these. They're just awesome. They're just amazing shades. So what I have on my eyelids right here, I'm probably just going to go ahead and keep these swatches on my fingers so you guys can see the bend. And then I have Surreal. Let me go ahead and show you Magical as well. Also Breathtaking here. So there we go. Yeah, look at that. Would you just look at it? Yeah, very beautiful, perform very well. Some of them are kind of more on the toppery side, like this one, so I have a gold underneath, and then I put this topper over the top, and I kind of feel like it looks fairly, I would say, green, you know, brings out the green. Okay, dwindling down to the last palette that I dug out that I for sure know that I purchased in 2021, and that is none other than, and she needs no more of an introduction, the Natasha Denona Gold palette. I really am liking this palette. I'm enjoying it. It's great. It's wonderful. I've used it for an entire, I don't know how many times I've used this palette, but it is so dimensional. There's 6 different formulas, so if you've never tried, I can't recommend it. It's discontinued. Allegedly discontinued, but it's got 6 different formulas in there, so if you bought this palette and this was your first one, you would definitely get a taste of, you know, a well-rounded taste for Natasha Denona, and that is why I invested in this palette as my very first palette from Natasha Denona was the Safari Mattes. And it doesn't really tell me much about Natasha Denona's formula because all it did was tell me what her matte formula performed like, and not very much of it, to be honest with you. So, you know, after that, I kind of always looked and admired from afar, and then I always got into duping her color stories because I found that she had some pretty interesting ones. So when I got a chance to pick up the gold palette, I did. Haven't been disappointed since. Really, truly enjoy it. That's it. Those are all the palettes that I purchased in 2021 that I can find right now. So if there's some more, I'll probably link them down below for you guys. take a look, check it out. Leave me in the comments down below some highlighted palettes that you've picked up in 2021, or even some singles that you may have purchased in 2021 that you'd like to share with me. I'll go through and I'm checking. All right, can't wait to see you guys in my next video. Bye.